You know, I don't talk to a lot of fellas, and I don't care at this point. I honestly don't. What anybody says to me about anything. My skin is thick, y'all, and I don't give a shit anymore. But I don't talk to a lot of men because I don't find them entertaining anymore. As I've gotten older, I realize that the majority of you fellas are full of shit. But there's two guys that were trying to talk to me, and one is a little older than me, and one is slightly younger than me. And the one guy that's older, I met him through a dating site when I lived in Asheboro. And we didn't even go out on a date. Turns out he's just another cheap motherfucker. We met at Centennial Park in Asheboro and sat in his car and talked for 2 hours. Literally, that's all we did was talk. He said, I'd like to talk to you and get to know you before we date. And I was like, that's a good idea. I don't mind that. And he's just cheap. He didn't want to go anywhere, he wanted to meet again under the same circumstances and sit in his car and talk. I'm not your fucking therapist, dude, and you're not mine. So I got bored with that, and I quit talking to him, and I even deleted him, but didn't block him on Facebook. He sent me a friend request again when I moved back over here to Montgomery County, and he came to the rooming house where we stayed once, and we sat on the porch and talked again. And he wanted to plan a date. He wanted to go out on a date he asked me what I like to do. I said, I'm good for anything. The zoo, coffee. You know, I'm not real comfortable with going to see a movie sitting in the dark with somebody I barely know for 2 hours. I said, so, coffee or anything. He said, you like the zoo? I love the zoo. I worked at the zoo. I adore the zoo. He said, okay, I'm going to check and see if I can get some cheap tickets online, and then I'll let you know when we're going. I said, I used to work at the zoo. There's not really a discount. I said, you'll probably get a senior discount. I'm not there yet. I said, but it's, $15 at the time it was. And he said, well, I'm going to look into it and see if I can get them cheaper, and then I'll call you. And it set me so wrong. I didn't want to talk to him no more. Didn't want to be rude to him, but no, because I know the thinking. I've been out with a lot of Hispanic men. I exclusively like Hispanic men, mainly Mexican men, because my husband was Mexican, and I adore Julian still to this day. But he was the reason, a lot of the reason that I like talking to Hispanic men. I find a lot of them very sweet and fun and cheap. Like, I think most of you fellas are cheap. But anyway, I just didn't have much to say to the guy for a long time. And then when I was staying with a friend before we got this house, he messaged me one day and said, when you going to come see me? And I ignored that message because, no, now you're trying to pull me into your safe space without actually having to take me on a date or show me a good time or let me know who you actually are. You just want to get me over to your house. And I know why. But anyways, he's been like, everything that my face is in, he likes it. A post on Facebook or anything like that, he likes it. I went to his page with the intent of deleting him as a friend, and it turns out he already deleted me as one, but he's following me. And when I tried to message him the other day, because I thought I remembered that he said he worked on cars, and I was like, I messaged him and asked him in Spanish, do you know anything about cars? 2 weeks went by, he never answered me. He ignored me the way I ignored him with the whole when you gonna come visit me at my house thing. So I blocked him. So unless he has multiple accounts, he's not going to see this. But I'm sick of that shit. I am sick of it. I am really tired of it. The other guy, the younger guy, is the same person he was when I met him like 12, 13 years ago. And is trying to convince me that he's changed. But see, I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. I'm seeing what you're doing. Posting your little AI videos with a sexy girl on your back on your motorcycle or your dirt bike. Making crude jokes or posting crude AI videos of, sexy women in bikinis following you around while you're on your dirt bike. And he wanted to meet at the park because he needs somebody to talk to. I am not your mama or your fucking therapist, and I'm not doing this anymore. So, just FYI, and if you're sitting there going, I don't want her anyway, I don't want to go out with her, who wants to go out with her? Just know this, dear, darling, human with a penis, I don't give a fuck. One lesson I take away from this, my own lesson, what I learned, is that a tiger don't change his stripes. So the dude that I went out with and hung out with and hooked up with 13, 14 years ago is trying to finesse me because he sees the change in me. And he's hoping that he'll convince me he's a good guy so he can get some poo-tang. No. And the older dude, I don't know exactly what he might be after. He was never fresh, and we didn't, I wanted to build a friendship that could turn into a relationship, but you can't fool me, fellas. That's why they don't like us women of age. There are certain types of men who do not like a woman closer to their age. They prefer somebody closer to my daughter's age because they think she's naive. And that's the thing, too, though. I raised my daughter, so she's just a 45-year-old divorced soccer mom in a 25-year-old's body. She knows better. She's become cynical herself just from the experiences that she has had. So a lot of people want to know, oh, your husband's been gone for almost 15 years. Why don't you date? I tried. I tried. Holy hell, I tried. But these men are not of the same caliber. They don't make them the same. This generation of instant gratification for men, pornography online, and they can hook up with somebody online. Go for that. Go for that. Leave me alone if that's what you're after. Pero si eres hispano, mexicano preferido, y quieres una amiga que tal vez si conectamos mentalmente, puedes hacer más. Soy una buena mujer y yo merezca más que un pendejo que solamente quieres tu cuerpo. Adiós.